Most people are still trying to trade their time for money. They think if they work 40 hours, they get 40 hours of pay. But in 2026, that math is officially broken. Right now, there is a new class of digital employees that don't sleep, don't ask for raises, and don't need a desk. They are called AI agents. While the average person is using ChatGPT to write emails, the top 1% are using agentic workflows to build entire digital factories that generate passive income while they sleep. Let me give you a real example. There's a 28-year-old developer in Austin who built a network of AI agents that monitor Reddit, Twitter, and niche forums for specific business problems. When someone asks, "How do I automate my Shopify inventory?" his agent sends them a personalized 90-second video solution, books a consultation, and closes deals while he's at the gym. Last month, he made $47,000. He worked about 6 hours total. If you don't understand how to manage this new digital workforce, you aren't just falling behind, you are becoming obsolete. Today, I'm showing you the exact blueprint to move into the highest tier of growth, AI agent wealth. Let's look at the math. In the old economy, scaling a business meant hiring people. Hiring meant payroll, taxes, and management friction. If you wanted to double your output, you had to double your headcount. And with every new hire came HR issues, training costs, and the risk that they'd quit right when you needed them most. Imagine your income is a garden. In the past, you had to hand water every plant. You could only water as many plants as your time allowed. An AI agent is an automated irrigation system that works 24/7. It doesn't get tired, it doesn't take weekends off, it scales infinitely. An AI agent isn't just a chatbot, it's a program that can act. It can research a lead, send a personalized video solution, negotiate a contract, and trigger a payment, all without you touching a keyboard. Think of it like this. You're not hiring an employee, you're building a machine that performs a specific function perfectly every single time. Here's where it gets interesting. Let's say you're a virtual assistant or a tech creator in Nigeria. You charge clients $500 a month to manage their social media. Right now, you can handle maybe 5 clients before you burn out. That's $2,500 a month, and you're working 60-hour weeks. But what if you built an AI agent that handled 80% of the grunt work? Content scheduling, comment replies, analytics reporting, and you just handled strategy and client communication. Suddenly, you can manage 20 clients. That's $10,000 a month, and you're working 20 hours a week. The growth tier secret here is leverage. As a Nigerian tech creator or a virtual assistant, your goal isn't to do the work, it's to architect the workflow. If one AI agent can generate $10 a day in profit through automated lead gen or niche content, and it costs you $1 to run, the math says you should have 1,000 agents. That is the path to $1 million one-person company. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true, and you're right to be skeptical. But here's the thing. This isn't theory. This is already happening. There are people right now in Lagos, in Accra, in Nairobi who are using these exact strategies to compete globally and win. Here is where most people fail. Trust. Our brains are psychologically wired to believe that if we didn't suffer for the money, it isn't real. This is a poverty mindset trap. I see this all the time. Someone automates a process, makes money while they sleep, and then feels guilty about it. They think, I should be working harder. This feels like cheating. But that guilt is just your old programming talking. It's the industrial age mindset that says your value is tied to your hours. In the US and European markets, clients don't care if you spent 10 hours on a task or 10 seconds. They care about the result. If you can deliver a perfect SEO audit in 5 minutes using an AI agent and your competitor takes 5 hours doing it manually, who wins? You do. Because you can take on 60 clients in the time it takes them to service 5. Here's a metaphor that helped me break through this mental block. You are a captain of a ship. You don't need to be in the engine room shoveling coal. You need to be on the deck with a telescope looking at the horizon. Your job isn't to do every task, it's to navigate. To see the icebergs before they hit, to spot the opportunities before your competitors do. To reach the next tier, you must overcome the hero complex. You are not the hero of your business. Your systems are. When you transition from writer to editor or from worker to orchestrator, you free up the mental bandwidth to spot the next big trend before it hits the mainstream. Let me share a story. I used to write every single piece of content myself. Blog posts, scripts, social media captions, everything. I thought, if I don't do it, it won't be good enough. Then I hit a wall. I was making decent money, but I couldn't scale. I was the bottleneck. So I built an AI agent to draft my first versions. I'd give it a topic, my tone, and some key points. It would produce an 80% complete draft in 3 minutes. Then I'd spend 10 minutes editing and adding my personal touch. My output tripled, my income doubled, and I got my weekends back. That's the shift. You're not eliminating yourself from the process, you're elevating your role. You become the conductor, not the entire orchestra. Now, let's talk about the 2026 friction economy. Competition is higher than ever. To win in the US and Europe, your digital workforce needs to be specialized. Here's what I mean. Don't build a general AI channel. Build a sovereign agent for a specific niche, like real estate lead generation in Florida or automated technical audits for SaaS firms in Germany. The more specific your agent becomes, the more valuable it becomes. For example, there's a guy in Kenya who built an AI agent that specializes in analyzing Airbnb listings in European cities. It scrapes data, runs competitor analysis, suggests pricing strategies, and even writes optimized descriptions. He charges $200 per property, and he processes 15 properties a day. That's $3,000 a day. His agent does 95% of the work. By using agents to handle the friction, the repetitive, boring stuff, you can focus on the human edge, strategy, networking, and brand. This is how you build a business that is auditable and defensible. In 2026, if your business can be easily copied by a single prompt, it's worth nothing. Anyone can ask ChatGPT to write a blog post. But if you've built a complex web of interconnected agents, one that scrapes data, another that analyzes trends, another that creates content, another that distributes it, and another that manages client communication, that's an empire. That's defensible. Think of it like this. Your competitors can copy your tactics, but they can't copy your infrastructure. The more sophisticated your agent network, the wider your moat becomes. And here's the global opportunity. As someone operating from Nigeria or anywhere outside the traditional tech hubs, you have a cost advantage. You can build and run these systems for a fraction of what it costs someone in San Francisco or London. That means you can undercut on price while maintaining higher margins. That's how you win in a global marketplace. So, here is your implementation challenge for the next 24 hours. Identify one task you do every day that takes more than 30 minutes. Research one agentic tool like LangChain, AutoGPT, Make.com, Zapier, or a specialized lead gen bot and see if you can automate just 10% of that task. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress. If you can save 3 minutes today, that's 21 minutes a week. That's 18 hours a year. Multiply that across 10 tasks, and you've just given yourself an extra month of time. The future belongs to the orchestrators. If you want to move out of the worker tier and into the growth tier, you have to stop working in your business and start building the machines that are the business. Here's my final thought. The people who win in the next decade won't be the hardest workers. They'll be the best architects. They'll be the ones who understand how to combine AI agents, automation, and human creativity into systems that generate value 24/7. You don't need to be a coding genius. You don't need a Silicon Valley network. You just need to start thinking like an orchestrator instead of a worker. If you found this breakdown valuable, I'd love to hear from you. What's one task you're going to automate this week? Drop a comment or send me a message. We're going deep into the psychology of wealth every week. I'll see you in the next one.